Okay, we're going to continue on with today's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability for the Brantley Gilbert Big Machine Brickyard 400 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're now joined by Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet, and believe it or not, children's book author. I hear you recently added that to your resume. Could you please explain what that's all about?
Yeah, it's cool to have a children's book coming out later this fall. Here's the cover of it. Kyle Loves Racing. It's pretty neat now having a son of my own and reading children's books to him all the time. To have my own, I'm sure he'll think it's really cool. So it was a fun process for sure, and it's kind of just based off my my career a little bit and my 2 Cup wins that I'd had last year and then earlier this year. So yeah, fun deal, and yeah, it's always cool to kind of give back a little bit and try and stay in touch with the youth of our sport.
Well, talking about the youth of our sport, looking ahead to this week, winning a Brickyard 400 is somebody who has grown up loving auto racing from the time you can first remember. What would it be for you? What would it be like for you to win here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I've ran good every time I've been here. I think in the top 6 or 8, my 3 races I've ran. So always have speed, and I'm really excited about this weekend because we've had more speed than we've ever had anywhere so far in my career. So practice though didn't go quite like I'd hoped, and especially in qualifying trim, I didn't think we were very good. But we'll work on it some and get better. And we typically race better even than we practice, I feel like.
Okay, let's open the floor up for questions. If you have a question for Kyle, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start here with Megan. We'll work our way around.
Hi, Megan McEwen, Wish TV Indianapolis. Kyle spoke yesterday about how hard it is to pass here. How important does that make qualifying today?
Yeah, qualifying's always important, and especially when you come to Indy because it is tough to pass. But I think if you look the last 2 weekends, those are probably some of the hardest tracks to pass at as well. And we didn't get to, or we had to start last in both those, and you made our way in the top 10 or 5 pretty quickly. So I think if you have a good car, you can be able to pass. But for sure, hopefully we can get qualifying in today. Or if not, that'd probably actually work out better because I'd start on the front row. But yeah, I think if you have a good car, you can get underneath people and pass them fairly easy.
We'll go to Doug, then to Bruce.
All right, Doug Rice, PRN, IMS Radio. So you're actually pulling for rain then, if I heard that right.
The way my mock runs went, yeah, I'm pulling for rain.
Address your level of confidence with the success that you've had this year, going out, winning races, starting in the back, running to the front, qualifying well. What's that done for Kyle Larson, a race car driver, and his confidence?
Yeah, my confidence has definitely been high all season in all forms of racing that I've done. I feel like I've got a shot to win in any type of car I race at any track too. So it's been a fun summer already, just from all the races I've won, and ran in the top 2 really. I've had a lot of second place finishes also. But yeah, confidence is big in anything in life, and when you've got that, it's kind of hard to stop it. So I feel like our team's really confident right now, even with all the tech issues we've had the last couple weeks. We're still confident as ever, and I think it shows on the racetrack.
Bruce Martin with Auto Week. You came into the series with so much promise and potential to now be achieving that. How rewarding is that to you?
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding. I always believed in myself and believed that our race team would get there eventually. It was just kind of a process to get to where we're at now, and putting the right people in the right place. I feel like the first couple of years we had speed at times and could show that we had the potential as a team, but now to be doing it on a consistent basis is really cool, and I'm glad that the fans and people at home and in the stands get to realize how good our team is, because I feel like we've got a great bunch of guys and girls at our shop that work hard throughout the week and allow myself and Jamie to get to go have some fun and run up front. So yeah, it's neat always to be one of the best in anything you're doing, and to do it at a young age is cool.
Okay, the gentleman on the right.
Kyle back here. Eric Smith, Race View Online. Kyle was in here yesterday, Kyle Busch, and said he was going to run the Indy 500, but his boss said no. I talked to your boss in May, and he said that if the funding and everything was right, he would actually love to have you try here in the 500 sometime. Is that on your radar still?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Chip would do it. I think they're just all kind of waiting on me to, at this point now, to say I want to do it, and I do. But when I see the Scott Dixon and Bourdais crash, it kind of makes me think twice about it a little bit. But I'll get the courage up to do it someday, maybe next year or the year after. But I want to do it at the right time too. I feel like the way IndyCar is and maybe the politics of it or whatever, it seems like one manufacturer's good one year, and then the next one's good the next year, and then the next one's good the next year. So I want to time it at the right time where whatever manufacturer Chip's with is the best at that time.
Dick Mittman, 500 old timers. When you came in and Dale was there, you chatted with him briefly. He's seemed to be the last of the old breed, and you're part of the new. How do you feel about taking over, such a high honor?
Yeah, we're at an interesting time in NASCAR racing, and there's definitely a huge youth movement coming in, and it's neat to see the style of drivers and teams are different nowadays, and I think it's a great opportunity for us young guys to kind of try and do our part to help the sport out. And Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, I'm sure I'm missing others, have done so much for the sport to get us to where we're at now for my generation. And yeah, I mean, we've got a great crop of young guys already in the Cup Series, and another 8 or 10 below us in racing trucks or Xfinity that are just waiting for more rides to open up. So it's a fun time, and I feel like we're all ready to take over in a way and lead the sport, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
We'll go next to Jim, then to Woody, then to Chris.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. This kind of goes back to Bruce's question, but your car owner, Chip, has experienced a lot of success in many various forms of motorsports, but his NASCAR success has been sort of hit or miss. Do you get a sense with the way this season has gone that not only him but everybody at Chip Ganassi Racing on the NASCAR side is kind of getting a sense a little bit more excited about how that program has transformed recently?
Yeah, I think with running good, you're definitely excited, and everybody at the shop, you can see when you walk in, they're excited and confident as well. And you're right. I mean, our Chips Cup program in the years has been very up and down, and even in the 4 years I've been there, it seems like all throughout the whole season is a roller coaster ride, and this has been the most consistent we've ever ran. And I'm glad it's consistent on the good side. But you look at sports car teams and IndyCar teams, they're always consistently up front, and now we've got ours where we run up front all the time is awesome and great for Chip. He's worked so hard himself, and getting sponsorship and putting people in the right place, and for all of his hard work to pay off is neat also.
Woody came with MRN. Kyle, a lot of people say there's something here that you can take and apply to Pocono. You had a top 10 finish there last time. Are you a subscriber to that theory? Does anything here work there as well or help there?
I don't know. I'm sure. I don't get into the setup part of it, but so I don't even know if setups are close or not. But I know I've been struggling. Pocono, I normally struggle with a weird kind of aero looseness feeling into the corner that it's really hard to describe. And so far today, I've kind of felt the same thing here. So that's why I've been kind of pointing out, is like I got the same Pocono feeling here, and it's not a good feeling. So they've been working on it, and I think turn 2 is like the tunnel, or the turn 2 at Pocono is like the corners here. But I think I've always heard people say that also.
Chris?
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Kyle, speaking of the youth movement, is there drivers that you race with, maybe in Xfinity or keep your eyes on in trucks and say, man, when they get the Cup, I'm really going to have to battle them each week out, or somebody maybe in open wheel that we haven't heard of yet that you think that maybe deserves an opportunity to get into NASCAR like you did?
Well, I mean, I definitely think you have to look at Christopher Bell as being the top of that list, and I got to, see his potential before, a couple years before he ever made it to trucks, and seeing how good he is. So, I hope, I don't know what Furniture Row situation is, but I hope Bell gets to go in the 77. And then, I mean, there's so many kids in dirt racing that deserve an opportunity to make it, at least get a shot at a solid K&N ride, and then see how they can progress from there. But it just comes down to funding these days, and it's a shame that there's so much talent that doesn't get to show for it in NASCAR. And I think right now, if you look at really young guys, Gio Scelzi is probably the best that I see coming up in wing sprint cars. Spencer Baston, Logan Seavey, Buddy Kofoid. So there's a lot of open wheel guys that I hope someday get the chance.
Brody Miller with the Indianapolis Star. You mentioned maybe the crashes with IndyCar maybe making you a little extra nervous about that transition. Do you talk with any of the other IndyCar drivers about that jump at all?
No, I haven't. I would probably, I've got great teammates at Chip Ganassi Racing that I could lean on. Scott Dixon is the best in racing, and so I could always talk to him. But I'd probably be more curious to talk to like Kurt Busch or somebody, just because he's got my background and did an awesome job here at Indy. So if I ever did get the chance to race, for sure I'd be talking to Kurt quite a bit.
Any additional questions for Kyle? Bruce?
I know you've spent time over at the museum before. Have you ever got a chance to go downstairs in the basement and see the really unique stuff?
Yeah. Donald Davidson's taken me down there a couple times with my parents. My dad is kind of a historian as well, so them two together is fun to be around, because they'll quiz each other on stuff and all that, and looking at pictures and starting lineups of like the 1970 Indy Mile race, and they can name off everybody. So yeah, walking through the Hall of Fame is a lot of fun, but especially going downstairs and seeing those unique cars is cool. So I don't think I got the time to go check it out this year, and my parents aren't here, but hopefully in the future I get a chance to cruise back through there. I don't remember cars specifically. I'm not a huge car guy. I just always think it's cool when you see old, sprint cars or whatever in there, and because that's what I'm really into, and seeing how crazy those guys were that used to strap into them things or not be strapped into, where is pretty funny.
Go over here to right.
Zach Worrell, Indianapolis Star. Kyle, now granted you haven't ran as many races here, but of the field you have the highest average finish and your worst finish is 9th. Is there something about this track that clicks for you, or that comes naturally for you as to why you're so good?
I don't know. I think it's a rhythm type of racetrack, and maybe I don't know why. I'm not sure, but maybe the rhythm thing, and I would say being smooth, but I don't feel like I'm the smoothest guy out there. But I don't know. I think if you look at Chip's record here with Juan or Jamie, this just seems to be a really good track. For whatever reason, maybe I don't know if we piggyback off the IndyCar team at all on anything, if you can. But I feel like Chip's always been good here. So even in the seasons where they haven't been strong, they've been good at Indy. So I don't know what it is about that.
Well, Kyle, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Good luck this weekend, and congratulations on the book.
Thank you.